Hello and welcome to today's video where we're going to be answering the question, how can teenagers avoid being stressed out? And that really isn't the question that they really want to know. We'll be answering the real question in this video. In this video, we're going to be talking really about what people can do when they feel stress so they don't get overwhelmed by the emotion of stress, because that's really what they want to avoid, is that debilitating emotion of stress. So when we talk about that, there's several things, including mindset and what parents and educators and other people can do to help us develop that right mindset or the right thinking that will help us deal with stress. It's not about avoiding it. All those things is what we'll be covering in this video. What we want to begin to understand with stress is it begins in the minds. That's right. I said it plural. I said it plural on purpose. We're beginning to understand from the neuropsychology world and really understand the body. And now beginning to talk about, they, being the scientists, three minds. There's the mind that we usually think of that's kind of rooted in the brain, but there's also the heart mind and the gut mind. And all those will play into how we deal with stress. So our thinking, but also things like nutrition and the gut biome. There's a whole growing body of evidence that talks about how this bacteria and all the things that are going on in our gut, when that's out of whack and out of sync, we actually experience stress at a higher level. So we want to be dealing with that because there's communication going on. This is why they are talking about the gut mind that goes from the gut and the bacteria and the things that are living in the gut to the other parts of the body. This is one reason why the metaphor, trust your gut instincts, that's why it came about, because people would feel that in their gut, right? That's where it was kind of centering. Or same can be said about your heart, but also your mind. Now, I often talked about kids about learning to understand to listen to your heart and your gut, but never stop thinking about the reasonable things going on. So all of this is going to interplay in our ability to manage stress, which is really what this is going to be all about. According to the research of Dr. Ali Crum from Stanford University, our beliefs about stress will impact how we react to stress. That seems so logical to me. Partly because that's what I've spent so much of my life looking at and thinking about, was it's what we think. As a man thinketh, so he is, right? We've been hearing that sort of thing for 1,000 years. So how do we control what we think? It begins with what we believe. So if we believe stress is enhancing and you can't grow without it, then we react to it completely differently. So how do you develop that belief? That's what's going on in the mind. That's the whole thinking pattern. That's a whole lot of the work I do when I deal with clients. You begin to, there's ways that you can begin just by repeating over and over what you believe, by changing how you picture what you believe in your mind, right? How you picture something you believe to be true is different than what you believe not to be true, or something you doubt. The only way your brain can tell the difference between the two, that you doubt this and you believe that, is it has to code it. And it codes it by how you picture it in your mind. So you begin to pay attention to that and begin to learn how to manipulate that and change that. You interrupt the old beliefs, the old patterns, to new ones. It takes time. It takes training. This is what I talk about all the time. It's not just something you just do and it's done, it's fixed. You learn how to do it, and then you constantly work on getting better and better at it. This is the whole idea about training your thinking so you can deal with stress completely differently. And this whole idea of changing your thinking, it's about changing your mindset, right? It's changing those beliefs. You change your thinking patterns. You learn how to interrupt your patterns. You get in touch with what your values are. You begin to understand those values. And you're shaping this all the time. It's wrapped up in this mindset, again, is the idea of managing your emotions as well. Letting go of things that used to really get you in the past. Learning how to take that emotion of stress and how to then channel it differently, switch around your perceptions. You put all those things together, your beliefs you have, the thinking patterns that you have, what you say to yourself, the strategies you're running, all those things that really go into your mindset, and you will begin to behave differently. Your attitude changes. All of those things are going to allow you to have different outcomes when you are in a stressful situation. Just finished watching the Masters, right? And the final round. And we had Rory McIlroy had a lead. Now, Rory McIlroy, when he was a young golfer, age 21, I think, had one of the greatest collapses in Masters history. Right, the back nine in the final round, when he had been in contention, he was like they tied for the lead, and he had one of the worst back nines in Masters history. So that is lurking in his background. He had started the day out with a good sized lead. This is just recently. This is just like this past weekend, finished it up. And he starts in this final round with a double bogey. Ooh, not good. But he recovered. He had this happen throughout. Bad shot, bad hole, recovers. Bad hole, recovers. Goes in the final hole. He's got a short, relatively short putt to win the Masters, and he misses it. Goes to a playoff. He gets on the same hole as he just did. They went back to the 18th. Another short putt. The guy he tied with birdied the 18th hole regulation play on a long putt. Playoff, that guy had the long putt, just missed it this time. Rory made it. He dealt with stress. He dealt with his demons from the past, put it all together so that he could overcome the stress when he messed up, come back with some tremendous shots, and was able to win the Masters for the first time in his career. Oh, we're now left with, what do we do? How do we help teenagers? How do we help ourselves? How do we help people develop this skill set? We train it, we teach it, we give them opportunities to put it in practice. We actually have them go through a curriculum where they are working on thinking differently, learning some pieces, listening to other experts, reading short segments, having certain things that they need to do to practice, give them the opportunity to build these habits in their life, these morning and evening rituals, right? It really kind of begins with this idea of doing two things. First is we help them get in position to take responsibility, where they now own, we own, all of us. I'm not shouldn't be just saying teenagers, all of us. We own things like how we spend our time. We own that. The labels we give ourselves or accept from others, we own that. That's up to us to reject or accept those. The beliefs that we have, the values, we own all that. That's where it begins. Once we own it, now we can do something about it. But then we have to go, we got to weed out the past. We got to get rid of those things that aren't helping us, supporting us. We got to go through that process of getting those weeds out, no matter how deep we need to dig to get them out. We need to weed that garden. Then we can start applying heat, building those habits, the training. That's parents, accountability teams. That's helping to create rituals. It's giving them the opportunity and the discipline and the structure to do every day for at least 60 days on average, 66 consecutive days to build a habit. So at least that. maybe even a little longer, to create these important habits, and then the tools and those habits to go in the future so that they're regularly weeding their garden, they're cleaning things out. That's what we can do. Then we give them the coursework strategies to build a mindset of a champion, to build those character traits that would go into that. We've got to offer the structure, we've got to offer the programming to do that. Well, once again, as we end this video, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel, check out the other videos, and I really would also encourage you to make some comments, to share this, to like it, to engage with it. The more people who do that, just one, it gives me feedback, but somebody else who's watching it may also pick up something. If you could share your own personal story, your own journey in this realm, that could potentially help somebody else who's watching this. So please, I encourage you to engage with this and then come back and watch another.